Welcome back to Between Two Bs, the official podcast of the B to SMB Institute and our 5,000 plus business to small business professionals. I'm Dave Walker, here every Wednesday. And this week, we're talking about Alignable's brand new 360 networking features with some early small business adopters. Tom Cavanaugh, Dr. Karen Fiorillo, and Maria Worth are three entrepreneurs in the 9.5 million SMB network that is Alignable. We'll talk to them about the value and the challenge of connecting with peers. Some are potential customers, some are partners, and some are just new connections that share the entrepreneur's road. It's all about finding quality connections in a way that's smart, and that's what Alignable 360 is all about. As Tom puts it, it's truly a small business secret sauce. We'll also hear from Alignable's CEO, Eric Groves, on how the 360 platform provides real-time AI-enhanced intel on who's actually engaging with a user member's business. It's networking with clarity and purpose. So grab your coffee, settle in, and learn how Alignable 360 and AI are helping level up the SMB networking game.
If you sell at scale to small business, you need to be here. The 7th Annual B2 SMB Institute Leaders Forum, May 14th and 15th in Sonoma, gathers business to small business executives from dozens of major brands to talk shop. The winning, keeping, and growing of SMB customers. Our 2025 B2 SMB Institute Leaders Forum extends the central theme of our 2024 events, selling successfully in a small business marketplace that's seen extraordinary growth and change in the last 2 years. Combining keynotes from B to SMB sales superstars with frequent small-sided breakouts, the 2025 Leaders Forum presents research-based insights, best practice playbooks, and a steady dialogue of shared wisdom on winning, keeping, and growing SMB customers. Our B to SMB Institute Leaders Forum sold out these last 2 years, so it's not too early to save your spot at our top-to-top networking and strategy exchange for senior B to SMB execs. Get your tickets today at b2smbi.com/leadersforum25. Are you ready to master the new sell? Join us for the 6th Annual Leaders Forum in Sonoma, hosted by the B to SMB Institute. Tickets now on sale for the B to SMB Institute 2025 Leaders Forum. Members attend free. Email info@b2smbi.com for more information.
The following episode of Between Two Bs is audio only.
You know, it's not often that we get a chance to speak to our customers, our small business customers. And, you know, today is just a great opportunity to talk to three of them who are all members of the Alignable platform. And we're also joined by the co-founder of Alignable, Eric Groves. And I want to just kind of go around the table here and let everybody introduce themselves. We're excited to have a conversation really primarily about how small businesses connect with each other. And I think that we've got some great stuff to talk about. So without further ado, Eric, do you want to introduce yourself? You're familiar to the audience. I think you hold the record for most number of Between Two Bs appearances.
Well, thanks, Dave. Yeah, it's great to be here, and I'm really more excited to hear from the other folks than myself. My name is Eric Groves. I'm one of the co-founders of Alignable. I've been at it for a little over 12 years now, and we're just a business relationship platform that helps business owners build the connections that fuel their success. And excited to hear from the folks that are actually living it on a daily basis. So why don't I pass it over to Maria?
Hi, I'm Maria Worth, and I'm with Business Owners Trade Alliance, and we are the largest barter company serving businesses of all types and sizes in Eastern and Central Pennsylvania. And I'm also on the board for an international trade association, and there are over 75,000 businesses that are in the U.S. and Canada alone that I work with on that platform. So essentially, I'm just always connecting businesses, which is why Alignable, quite frankly, is so amazing to me.
Great. How about you, Dr. Karen?
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Karen Fiorillo, and I'm from Collegeville, Pennsylvania. I'm in education. I teach full-time STEM at the middle level. So I'm teaching future entrepreneurs in 7th grade, which is pretty amazing. And I'm a fitness instructor, and I have a little side hustle with wellness and beauty products. And I'm really excited and blessed to be here with you all today. Thanks for joining with us all.
Absolutely. How about you, Tom?
My name is Tom Kavanaugh. I'm the owner of New Coaching Strategies. I am a small business entrepreneur, solopreneur, and professional exit strategy coach. And I've been doing this for about 6 years now. And I absolutely love what I do, helping all of the people that I work with to be able to see what their future is going to be like.
Great intros all the way around, guys. And thank you so much again for being here. I want to kind of start off with a really simple question. As you're all participants in Alignable, do you find value in networking with other small business, and specifically, what would some of those value points be? So, Maria, why don't you start for us?
Well, I find tremendous value in networking. And what I have found is that the more you do it and the larger your network becomes, the more it becomes kind of second nature to know how to put two people together. And so through years and years of having done networking, I've obviously developed a large network, and Alignable has simply kind of taken that to the next level because of the way it works and the way that you can search for people that you're looking for specifically. But sometimes I'm actually just amazed at how I just run across someone and they tell me what they do. And my brain kind of just works that way to go, you know what? You need to know this person. And then I put them together. So that obviously happens back to me as well in the process.
That's terrific. Tom, how about you?
So the way that Alignable is structured and engineered, it is for the small business owner and entrepreneurs and professionals to be able to network with each other. But I just discovered in the last 7 weeks alone that I took networking on Alignable to an entirely different level. During the most recent Business Person of the Year contest, I was engaged in a lot more of the smart connects that we have on Alignable that are available for everybody in any type of business. And out of that came 3 potential clients who have expressed an interest in working with me as their coach, and 3 potential coaches who have expressed an interest in being mentored by me to become a coach. So it's an extraordinary level of networking that Alignable provides for us.
We'll put a pin in that to come back to kind of what are some of the features that Alignable has been introducing to really kind of even further encourage what Tom is describing. Dr. Karen, why don't you bring it on home? How do you find benefit in networking with other small businesses?
Put me in a room with 9.5 million people, and I'm bound to find a couple who I enjoy. Let's just put it that way. I have found that even though we're large, it's easy to compartmentalize with our alliances, and I'm able to localize most of the area. We're in a small, really, really rural area, but I'm able to find people who I know, like, and trust, and hopefully they feel the same way about me. And as Tom said, Business Person of the Year contest really helped to cultivate those relationships. And as Maria said, it's wonderful to connect people who you know are good together and cultivate that relationship so they can move on together. I never really look for anything in exchange. I'm all about being a giver, and I love to educate people, and I've mentored many, many people who have come onto Alignable. That's just the nature of who I am. So that's how I found Alignable to be working for me.
So, I want to build on that a little bit, Dr. Karen, because you said you live in a rural area, maybe not that huge a population of actual small business owners that are kind of in your community. How do you kind of navigate the 9.5 million for finding those people that you really are going to bond with and you really are going to share with and you really are going to get value from?
Alignable does a lot of the work for us, which has been truly a blessing. And the new release of 360 has been a godsend, to be honest. It has brought more people my way who are relevant. For a while there, I feel like I was losing people and I was gaining people who I really didn't know that well. But this is really pinpointing using our back office, if you want to call it that, on our platform, where we can go into the profile and click into our network and find out who the best connections are for us. And seriously, Alignable has really taken a lot of the guesswork out of that.
Maria, I would imagine for you that, being kind of a business built on networking, how do you connect? What do you look for? Is there a profile? Is there kind of a checklist of things that you look for your ideal kind of companion on Alignable?
Well, the way my business works is I'm often looking for a certain kind of business in a certain area, and Alignable is better than that than anything else I've ever seen. And I've shown people this that are perhaps businesses that are looking to connect with people within a certain region or within their local area. What I found in terms of Alignable 360, and I kind of did a test before we met here to see the top 50 people that were suggested for me. And it was quite unbelievable. There were really only 5 people that I didn't know extremely well that were either clients of mine or very close friends that I had met in networking events. Like, it was pretty amazing. And I could only go down like 50, but apparently I have 602 connections that I can get through that. So I'm definitely going to take a deeper dive, but so far it's really been just spot on. However it's done, I don't know, but it certainly works.
That's very cool. Tom, how about yourself? Connecting with others. What do you use as kind of your means of filtering through all of these different possibilities that potentially are out there for you to connect to?
It's an absolutely great question because there are over 9 million people on Alignable, and I serve a pretty specific niche area of business owners. So what I can do is, because of the tagging system that's assigned to everybody's profile, when we create our profiles, we tag basically who we are, who we're looking for, who our ideal client is. We are targeting these different types of industries. And in my opinion, what the Alignable 360 program that's just been rolled out has done is it has made Alignable for me a target-rich environment. And what I mean by that is that I can go in to the list of people that are either connected to me or through the tag system. I can go in and search for the specific type of person that I choose to work with. And I can also see who is connected with them that I might know. And I can either request an introduction to them through that person. We all know that referrals speak 10 times more in value to the potential person that's looking to do business with them than a cold call would be. So that's the optimum way. But if not, then I can at least go in and I can extend an invitation to the Connect system. And because we all get a certain number of connection requests, and I can go in and make that introduction myself. So it's the best of both worlds. And the fact that it tells me how many people of my ideal client are available and how many people of my ideal referral partners are available, it's beyond comprehension what they've been able to do so far.
Very cool. Eric, time for you. I'd love you to describe what 360 really is and does. You know, I'm an absolute huge fan of the 9.5 million small businesses you brought together in a community. Not an easy task, as anyone who sells to small business or tries to organize small businesses in any dimension knows. Talk to me about, not only what it is and what it does, this new 360 capability, but why? Why did you think it was so important?
Well, I guess it kind of goes back to that age-old adage of, you're often told it's not what you know, it's who you know. When you think about it from a business owner's perspective, it's even deeper than that. It's not just who you know, it's the people that they know. And if you think about our behavior in networking over time, we've typically gone to networking events and collected people's business cards. And we've come back and we've, looked at those business cards and go, oh, geez, I got to really remember Dr. Karen and what she's all about. And maybe I wrote a couple notes on the back and then I put that business card on my desk. And I think the interesting observation there is that when we put those business cards on our desk, we didn't throw them away, right? But they sit on our desk. And they sit on our desk because we know there's intrinsic value in that card. We know there's intrinsic value in that relationship. We just don't know what it is.
Right.
And so what we've done with Alignable 360 is actually kind of show you what it is. And it's the power of having 9.5 million businesses on the platform and having their networks on the platform where we can actually then turn that business card over and we can tell you a story about the people, each person in your network, but we can tune that story based on what's most relevant to you. And so what Tom was so eloquently talking about was the fact that we ask you, who are the people that you most want to meet? And we call those your ideal customer and your ideal partner. But in a sense, where your ideal customer is the people that you most like to sell to. And in many cases, your ideal referral partner are people that share that same customer. And so we gather the information of the interests and that you have, and then we apply it to your second degree network. So when you come in to look at the people you know, those people are organized for you based on who you want to meet. And so if I look at Maria's network, it will then show me everybody in her network based on who I want to meet. So she may have 650 people in her network, but there may only be like 5 or 10 of those people that are super interesting to me. So I can then take that knowledge and set up a call with Maria, and she can be looking at my network at the same time. And we can say, hey, I would really love to get introduced to Dr. Karen. Could you make an intro? And she would say to me, yeah, that's great. I see you know Tom. Could you introduce me to Tom? And we could help each other build positive relationships because we know exactly who each other wants to meet. And so it's really this sort of three-dimensional behavior that's enabled through Alignable 360 because we have access to the whole social graph of small businesses, and we can help them leverage their own networks to meet the people they want to meet. And then at the same time, we can use that to tell you who in your network you should focus on this week. So it's almost like there's this invisible person who's shuffling those cards on your desk and grabbing a card out and saying, hey, Dave, this is the person you need to reach out to this month because this person has a really great network that matches up really well with the people you want to meet, and you haven't talked to them in over 90 days, right? I mean, it's kind of like, that's why a lot of this blows people's minds is it's basically helping you network smarter. As you network smarter, when you ask a business owner, what's your best source of new customers? They're going to say a word of mouth referral, right? A word of mouth referral is a referral from your network, right? And so basically what we're doing is we're elevating the ability to generate new business for business owners by, and at the same time, helping them strengthen the key relationships by creating a circle of trust where we're all helping each other. And these three folks, I mean, they are all like top 10 winners within this contest that we ran. But the most important thing about this contest is their winning it was based on other people saying these people are the most helpful people on the platform. And that is truly what makes small business different, is that small business owners want to help each other be successful. And these three happen to just be the power squad, if you will, of those folks across the platform. And that's why their stories are so compelling.
And they are compelling. And Tom, I want to come back to you and kind of springboard over what Eric was describing. You were, I think, the first to really identify, hey, this brought me business. I mean, I got new customers from this, new revenue generating relationships. Do you think that there's a use for 360 that actually goes even further beyond just simply using it as a tool for prospecting and building those kind of selling relationships? And I'm going to ask the same question for both you, Maria, and Dr. Karen as well.
Well, I think that it breeds familiarity, first of all. And remember that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. That's what Alignable is really all about. It's building the know, like, and trust factor amongst us. And to answer your question more specifically, to dive deeper, aside each profile of someone that I might want to be connected to through a mutual connection I already have, their profile will come up and it explains to me who that person is and what they do. That, to me, is a whole different level of knowledge and introduction. So it makes the platform feel more like you're part of the community, because it's like getting introduced to your neighbors in your neighborhood when you first move in. You get a chance to know all about them before you even reach out to make that introduction.
Makes complete sense. Maria, how about you?
I'm going to actually expound upon what Tom said about neighborhood, because that's super important to me. There are a lot of people that do business nationally that have a great experience on Alignable, but I'm a regional business and I use it to be able to connect with people in my region and really understand where they're from. And Alignable makes that so crystal clear. I can look at someone's business, I can find out exactly where they're located, and so many things about them. Obviously, their network, get introduced to their network. But the way that it is so easy to find out exactly who you're looking to meet and use those search tags that you can use to filter different towns and radiuses and exactly the types of businesses that you're looking to connect with. That to me is absolutely just golden.
That's terrific. And how about you, Dr. Karen?
I love the way Alignable 360 has given us the ability to see where we met these people. Met on a Smart Connect. You referred them. You liked their recommendation. You received the recommendation. All of it is right there in black and white. And I've been living in a spreadsheet world for my whole life. I no longer have to live in that spreadsheet world because now Alignable has organized this for us immediately, and it's all right in one spot. So that's been my saving grace.
So as you guys are having conversations, I'm curious, with other small businesses, whether it's in the midst of selling them something or creating a kind of a customer relationship with them, what do you guys talk about? I mean, I think that believe me, I think that we all, as people who sell at a large scale to small businesses, really always want to know what's on your mind, and frankly would probably want to eavesdrop on conversations that you guys are having with each other about, let's just pick one out of the hat, artificial intelligence or current state of the economy. Is there going to be a recession? Do you find that the community gives you an opportunity, again, not just to do business, but to actually connect with others, to really kind of understand other points of view or get information or to share resources, that kind of thing?
I go into people's profiles and I dig. And the first thing I will do when I make a connection with someone is personalize that message. So when we meet, we have a starting point, a sounding board to go from there. And it's not, oh, this is what I sell, this is what I do, all about me. I don't do that. I ask questions, a lot of questions. And sometimes I don't even get a chance to talk, and I'm fine with that. So yes, we do have that opportunity.
That's great. And Tom, how about yourself?
You know, one of the things that I learned early on, I'm one of the original ambassadors in the Ambassador Alliance program. And before that happened, I was introduced to Sue Brook. You may have heard of Sue, but she's really big with Alignable. She works for the company, travels around the country promoting Alignable. And she somehow or another came across my platform on my profile, because in the beginning, I was literally trying to sell what I do. And I got to get on a phone call with her. And the 3 times she said, stop it, stop it, stop it. And I was just taken aback. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, you're going about this the wrong way. What you really need to do is focus on the other people and to provide them with value without the expectation of anything in return. Now, I started doing that. I said, I'll give it 6 months. I'll do exactly what you say. And it completely transformed my experience on Alignable, and it transformed my business. About 25% of my business comes directly through the contacts that I make on Alignable. And to answer your question specifically, is the reason I'm leading up to it is because I don't ever talk about myself when I'm in these chat sessions. I'm always asking them how I can help them. I spend a lot of time sharing with people how they can become a published author within a week so that they can have more authority within their space. Things like that give away value, that has utility, that they can literally put to use in their business today. And I think that's really the basis. If I have to pinpoint anything for success on Alignable, it's the fact that we are willing to give away as much free, valuable content as we can in the expectation of helping the other people. And we become the attraction magnet in the process.
Yeah, they're your peers, right? It's easy. Once you realize that they're all your peers as fellow small business owners and entrepreneurs, I would imagine, Tom, that makes it a little bit easier to quote, give it away, because they're going through exactly the same things that you're going through. You know, they have to get online tonight and do QuickBooks, or they have to wake up tomorrow morning and do a lot of grunt work themselves inside their retail location. So I'm sure that provides a great platform when you really treat people as though you're trying to help versus trying to sell. How about you, Maria? How do you see it?
When I'm teaching Alignable classes, oftentimes we'll end up going an hour over the hour because I'm having so much fun showing people how many things there are to use and showing them all the groups and, having them follow up with me, asking how many introductions will you give me a week? And what do you think I should do? And it is, somewhat different for each person, but there's so many things out there that are available that you can go down a rabbit hole and you can really accomplish so many different types of things. And no matter what the business is, whether it's someone who's looking, for instance, to have a summit for nurses in Baltimore, and we go into Baltimore and we start looking for all the businesses out there that might be interested or sponsors. And literally, like, I think the second one we hit ended up being like a major sponsor for the event, or someone that's looking to get his podcasting knowledge out. And I said, hey, go into some of these groups, which there are many, that are focused on marketing, and kind of add, what you do, so that, people know that you're an expert in your field. Ask questions of the other people because you have marketing questions yourself. And once you start to get embedded, it's just, there's so much out there, I think, for everyone. And I've seen it happen for people that maybe were shy, like when they showed up to one of my networking events and they, didn't want to stay for a really long time. I showed them all the things that you could do on Alignable. They started doing them. And a guy a few days ago, he said to me, I got this customer. You were right. I went to the Smart Connects. I'm going to the Smart Connects, and this lady wants to hire me to help her with her marketing. So, it really works. As they say, if you take the steps, and there's so many things to do on Alignable, that if you take those steps, you will get there. And it doesn't take that long either.
Eric, what's your vision of this, of 360, and how integral is it going to be to really the Alignable of the future? I mean, obviously you've done a whole lot of things right, or you wouldn't have 9.5 million small business members. But what does 360 represent for you, do you think?
Well, 360 is sort of a step in a direction. I mean, I think when you go back to your earlier question about like, what do business owners do on the platform? I think it's important to note that most small business owners are solopreneurs, or they're the one who's exclusively responsible for making the business decisions that directly impact their livelihood. And they do it for the most part alone. And if you try and translate this sometimes to people who've been in large organizations, and, trust me, I've been in some of the largest, from AT&T to Citicorp on down. It kind of harkens back to the days in one of those big corporations where you'd walk down the hallway, right? And you'd walk down the hallway and there's the marketing department, and walk down a little further, there's the accounting department, and you walk down a little further and there's the purchasing department. And each one of those departments has expertise, and you can literally open the door or stop off and talk to somebody who has expertise that you can tap into. Right. And at a large corporation, it's great. You've got all these resources available to you. But the heartbeat of the American economy is the small business owner. And the small business owner has a lot of challenges they're trying to solve. And they typically have a passion for something that got them to start the business. And that passion is typically not about all the back office things and the challenges that they have on a daily basis. They just want to get out and do their business. And so the wonderful thing about the platform is it literally gives them the ability to build relationships with people who have relevant expertise. And they become trusted peers. It's a beautiful thing when you see the conversations happening on the platform, where people are literally giving advice to each other based on the experiences they've had or the expertise that they have to help another business owner be successful. And if you give to those people, and you give to the people in your network, they're going to return the favor and help you out when you need it. And that's truly what's happening on the platform. So when you think about like the next evolution of where Alignable is going, it's really to bring transparency to the relationships that you're building and make it easier, right? To use things like AI to make starting a conversation with someone you just met a little bit easier, because we can look at the data behind the scenes and we could say, hey, you don't know this, but guess what, Maria? You and Eric both know Tom, and you're both networking with Tom, and you're all in the same community. So you already have something in common to talk about, right? Well, that's a lot easier to start with that kind of thing than a blank screen that, of just like, very nice to meet you, right? So
Right.
What we're doing is literally bringing that stuff to life to make these relationship building moments even more impactful. And the goal is to really just, support what we all call the American dream, or whatever, the dream of business ownership, but to really fulfill that dream that business owners have of running a very successful business.
That's fantastic. And again, I'm a big fan of the network from its very beginning, but I think that taking, Eric, you had the kind of the visual, which is so good, of, that stack of business cards on the corner of the desk, and they really are talismans. They're talismans of the connection that you made, however briefly, with that person who you exchange business cards with. And then to really come away from that and be able to kind of bring it to life and really make it so much richer. And let's be real, assisted by artificial intelligence, an ability to really kind of not just look at the name and address on the business card, but look into some sort of other dimension of, my gosh, okay, this person is a member of the chamber. This person is someone who went to University of Virginia. Whatever it is, being able to see those things so that you really can create those connection points.
Yeah, it's basically like we're giving every business owner their own personal assistant that can remind them of things that they can do to improve their business. And they can tap into it on an hourly, daily, weekly basis. But however they tap into it, it's just going to help them meet and build relationships with the people that are going to help them be successful.
Tom, as we wrap up here, one final question for you and for Maria is, what's the future of using this tool look like for you? What do you imagine it can do for you, not just in the next couple of weeks, but really, for the next couple of years? What is this kind of tool in your hands? What will it do for you?
Dave, that's a great question, because I've actually contemplated over the last week with the discoveries that I made through the 360 edition, as well as taking the networking to the next level. I've contemplated whether I need to hire people to go in and do the searches that I don't actually have the time in my business to do by myself, where I could scale my business, or do I do it myself and then just make that part of my business and limit myself as far as how many people I'll take on, which then makes my services more valuable. So either way I go, it's a huge boost to the value of my business and what the potential is for the future.
Really good. Maria, how about you? What's your future look like with this?
Alignable represents over 50% of all of my clients, and it continues to grow year after year. So it's already great. But looking at how I'm going to be using 360, it's going to stop me from having to make phone calls to someone and say, hey, Jim, I'm looking for a winery in Lebanon County. Who do you know? Instead, I go into his profile and I see, lo and behold, he knows 5 or 6 wineries. And so I don't have to ask him a whole lot of questions, waste his time, waste mine. I can go and I can find exactly what I'm looking for, and not just a cold call, but somebody that actually knows one of my existing customers and use the system to do it. So I'm going to be using it very thoughtfully, basically looking at each one of my connections and deciding what I want to focus on. And obviously, I look forward to that. It's like I said to someone, I feel like I need to have like a Neuralink or something that I can do it without having to be at a computer. But Eric, that's the next thing you can come up with.
Yeah, I think actually Tom had a great idea, which is an AI assistant that will actually organize all these connections for you and sort them in priority. But Eric, as kind of a wrap, we've been around the business of small business for a long time, both you and I, and the consistent complaint, let's call it what it is, that people who sell to small businesses have is they're all snowflakes. They're all so unique. They're all so different. They're all so fragmented. And what I see you doing is basically taking all those snowflakes and turning it into a great big snowdrift. And that what may be one of the really interesting things that you're unlocking is the power of community across small businesses. I'd like to just kind of wrap up on that point of, is that really ultimately what is the power of Alignable and of 360, is to really draw that horizontal line through small businesses and not the vertical slices that we so often encounter?
Well, I love to talk to business owners that say, I've tried to reach small businesses. They just don't have time. Right. And it's often kind of funny because I'm not sure if it was Maria or Dr. Karen that said it, or Tom, but, when I was at Constant Contact, we used to just spend a lot of time educating. And it's one of the things that I've brought to Alignable as well, is just teaching business owners how to think differently about networking. And the reason that a lot of these large corporations get rebuffed by small business owners is because they walk in the door and try and sell something. right? And that's never the answer, right? I mean, when you think about a retail business owner, 7 to 10 times a week, someone walks in the door and tries to sell them something.
Right.
And they can almost tell when they walk in the door, they just put up their hand and it's like, no, I'm good. And, it's just, you have to understand how to engage with a business owner, right? If you sit back and you try and help a business owner be successful by sharing knowledge and insights and understanding their business and asking them questions, I find that, like, Maria was saying, it's like my hour-long session went on for 2 hours. They want to learn. They want to be stimulated in terms of, like, how can I grow my business? And, that's what we're really all about, is trying to foster that behavior. And so, from the people trying to sell to small businesses, they should kind of stop for a minute and ask, what can I do to help the people that I want to serve? And if they do that, then all of a sudden the world of small business will open up to them. And I think, that's been my approach for the last, 30 years or so. And it's served me well. And I guess also I am a small business owner, so I can relate to that aspect of what they're trying to accomplish. And so it really resonates with me. I mean, all small business owners are entrepreneurs, and I'm an entrepreneur. And so I think that helps us a lot as we try and search for ways to help them grow their businesses better and faster.
Well, all of you, this has been terrific. I really appreciate it. I think that cracking open the conversation that's grounded in this fabulous connectivity that the Alignable platform has made and further enhanced by the 360 edition, I think it's very inspiring, frankly, that small businesses, frankly, are creating a community unto themselves. And across the country, up and down every possible size and shape of business, every kind of offering, from solopreneurs up to 125 employee small manufacturers. I mean, it's absolutely terrific. So thank you guys so very much for doing this. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you, Maria.
And likewise.
And Eric, as always, thank you very much.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Thanks, you guys. It was great to hang out with you for a bit.
Hey, thanks for joining us for this episode of Between Two Bs, the official podcast of the B to SMB Institute and our 5,000 plus business to small business professionals. Tune in every Wednesday for new episodes at the crossroads of the big B and the small B. Between Two Bs on your favorite streaming services.